Lean, the Ghostrunner. Have you ever felt like your body was broken? That you're too skinny to bulk up or too heavy to run? What if I told you that what you call a flaw is actually a 50,000-year-old biological weapon? Take the Ghostrunner. Modern culture calls them skinny, but on the ancient savannah, they were the most terrifying predators on Earth. Not because they were fast, but because they were relentless. They used a hunting technique so psychologically devastating it didn't require weapons or traps. It required one thing: refusing to stop. If you carry a lean frame, your body is a precision radiator built for a game where the only rule is outlast the heat or die. The Ghostrunner typically sits at a low body fat percentage, under 12% for men and 20% for women. Your frame is long, light, and you've probably been told to eat more your entire life. But here is what your frame is actually doing. There's a biological principle called Bergmann's rule. Usually it says bigger is better for the cold. But for you, it works in reverse. Think of your body like an engine with an oversized cooling system. Because you have more skin real estate relative to your mass, you can shed heat while others are literally boiling from the inside out. Researchers in the Kalahari found that these leaner builds could keep running in temperatures that caused larger competitors, both animal and human, to stop to avoid permanent brain damage. In a world where food was scarce, you didn't waste energy moving extra tissue. You didn't need to overpower the environment. You simply outlasted it. But the most fascinating part is how this shaped your mind. Research suggests that lean individuals often score high in conscientiousness and have a distinct discomfort with being still. Evolutionarily, your ancestors couldn't afford to be sedentary. If you feel a compulsive need to stay productive, it's a psychological echo of a survival strategy where stopping meant losing the trail. But being the ultimate endurance machine has one fatal weakness. You aren't built for a direct physical confrontation. For that, the tribe needed a scout, someone who could run like a ghost but hit like a guardian. And the genetics behind that build are even more rare. Lean Muscular, the apex scout. If the Ghostrunner is built to outlast, the apex scout is built to outmatch. This is the frame most evolutionary anthropologists point to as the gold standard of human design. You aren't bulky like a bodybuilder, but your muscles are compact, functional, and expressive. You carry an effortless athleticism that others spend years in the gym trying to mimic. But here's the secret. For you, this isn't just willpower. It's a rare genetic shortcut. If this is you, you likely possess high metabolic flexibility. You can run a 10K and hit a deadlift personal record in the same afternoon without either performance suffering. Physically, you sit in a rare sweet spot. Just enough muscle to generate force, but light enough to stay fast. You were the tribe's ultimate multi-tool. Scientists studying myostatin, the protein that acts as a speed limit for muscle growth, found that your lineage has a unique variation. While most bodies break muscle production to save energy, your body has a loose break. This allows you to build lean muscle efficiently without paying the metabolic tax of excess fat. In ancestral environments, you were the tribe's insurance policy. You were strong enough to carry a 60-pound kill back to camp, but agile enough to climb vertical terrain. Because your body is built for versatility, your temperament likely seeks it. This build often tracks with high openness. You crave variety because your ancestors survived by being adaptable trackers who solved problems on the fly. That constant pull toward the next big thing, that's your inner scout looking for a new trail. But being a versatile multi-tool had a limit. When a rival tribe attacked, or a 500-pound predator cornered the group, the scout wasn't enough. The tribe didn't need someone who could move fast. They needed someone who couldn't be moved. And that required a build that prioritized raw, terrifying intimidation over everything else. Muscular, the clan guardian. Modern culture is obsessed with this build for the gym, but evolution didn't care about aesthetics. It cared about signaling. If you gain muscle easily and notice people instinctively stand near you when things get tense, you aren't just built. You are a biological broadcast system. Your frame is a 50,000-year-old message firing on all cylinders, telling everyone in the room, don't start something. The clan guardian carries high muscle mass with a moderate fuel tank of body fat, usually 15% to 18% for men and 22% to 26% for women. You feel physically substantial, but your true power isn't what you can lift. It's how you're perceived. There's an ancient science called intrasexual competition, basically the math of who wins when things get physical. A landmark 2017 study found that upper body strength was the single largest predictor of how formidable a person was perceived to be. It mattered more than height weight, and facial features combined. In the ancient world, your body was the tribe's primary defense system. You were the reason the tribe wasn't raided. Evolution decided the most efficient survival tool wasn't winning a fight. It was making sure the fight never happened. This presence is backed by a specific neurological environment. High muscle mass often tracks with a faster stress response and higher assertiveness. When others were paralyzed by fear, the tribe relied on the guardian to make high-stakes decisions. You were the biological shield, but being a walking deterrent has one fatal weakness. It is incredibly expensive. A muscular frame can burn through 3 times the daily calories of a lean one. In a world of famine, being a guardian was a luxury the tribe couldn't always afford. To survive the lean months, evolution needed a generalist, a build that cost almost nothing to maintain, but could survive the environmental shifts that wiped everyone else out. Average, the versatile Nomad. In a world of specialists, evolution chose one build more than any other. It isn't the fastest, and it isn't the strongest, but it is the most successful. If you sit in the balanced middle, neither lean nor bulky, you might feel like you don't get extreme results, but that is your secret weapon. You aren't a specialist. You are the versatile Nomad. The Nomad represents the golden mean of human history, typically 18% to 24% body fat for men and 25% to 31% for women. Think of yourself as the human version of a generalist species. While the Ghostrunner thrives in the heat and the Guardian thrives in a fight, you are the only one built to thrive in both. You weren't designed to win one specific game, you were designed to survive when the rules of the game change. Evolution doesn't always reward the extreme, it rewards the sustainable. A muscular frame can be a death sentence during a drought because it burns through resources too fast. You have what researchers call a manageable metabolic bill. You don't overheat like the Guardian, and you don't break down under stress like the Ghostrunner. In a calorie-scarce world, your body is the most efficient engine ever designed. You were the one still standing after environmental shifts wiped out the specialists. You didn't just survive the world, you outoccupied it. This physical balance mirrors a psychological one. Research shows that individuals in this average range often score higher in agreeableness. In ancestral terms, you were the social glue. While the specialists were at the fringes, you were the one holding the tribe together. You were the backbone of the species. But there is another body type that evolved a completely different survival trick. It's a build that modern culture often mocks. But the genetics are actually a masterclass in emergency management. It's the only body built to survive a catastrophe that would kill every other person in this video. Skinny fat, the famine specialist. Let's be honest about this next build, because the science is actually incredible. The skinny fat profile, low muscle with a higher proportion of body fat, is often dismissed as a modern lifestyle mistake. But while modern culture mocks it, evolution calls it a biological insurance policy. You aren't out of shape. You are a famine specialist. This profile is unique because it defies standard ratios. You might have a normal BMI, but your body is doing something the Ghostrunner and the Guardian can't. It's hoarding energy like a vault. You are operating on what geneticists call the thrifty genotype. Muscle is metabolically expensive. It's a luxury your lineage couldn't afford during a total food collapse. While the Scouts and Guardians were burning thousands of calories just to exist, your ancestors survived by doing the opposite. Your body learned to aggressively convert every spare calorie into fat storage while keeping muscle mass low to minimize the daily caloric bill. This wasn't a body designed to perform. It was a body designed to survive waiting. In a world where the supply chain of nature collapsed, you were the only one with the lights still on. You didn't outrun the famine. You simply outweighted it. This metabolic thriftiness tracks with a temperament of caution and conservation. You likely find yourself more analytical, preferring to wait and see before committing your energy. In the ancient world, this trait stopped you from wasting vital calories on a hopeless hunt. Your patience isn't a flaw, it's your superpower. But sometimes the crisis isn't a lack of food, it's a lack of heat. When winter isn't just a season but a decades-long ice age, patience won't save you. You need more than a battery. You need a fortress. And that required a build that could turn the most extreme climates on Earth into a playground. Overfat, the winter survivor. In a world of modern abundance, carrying significant body fat is viewed through a narrow lens. But throughout human history, this build was a rare and vital form of biological armor. While the Ghostrunner is built to shed heat, you are built to hoard it. You are the winter survivor, and your body is a masterclass in environmental engineering. If your body naturally gravitates toward a rounder, more insulated shape, you are following a physical blueprint that likely saved your lineage during the last ice age. Maintaining these reserves in the ancient world was incredibly difficult. It required a genetic efficiency that most people simply don't have. This is where Bergman's rule returns. In freezing climates, evolution favors a rounder shape because it retains heat far more efficiently than a lean one. But fat wasn't just insulation, it was the tribal bank. Fat yields 9 calories per gram, more than double that of protein. These reserves didn't just help you survive, they funded the future. This energy fueled the massive caloric budget required for the human brain to grow and for mothers to sustain lactation during the killing months. You didn't just survive the winter, you funded the survival of the next generation. This role as a biological funder often correlates with nurturing and protective social behaviors. You were the anchor of the community, wired for resource management and long-term sustainability. You were the one who ensured the tribe actually made it to spring. Some bodies were built to outlast the environment through patience and insulation. But the final build wasn't built to outlast anything. It was built to dominate. It combined the raw power of the Guardian with the massive energy reserves of the Survivor to create a siege engine that could move mountains. And no one has more hidden advantages than they do. Muscular Overfat. The siege engine. This is the body that walks into a room and changes it. You possess massive, functional strength, but it's paired with the high energy reserves of a survivor. If this is you, you're likely strong in ways that surprise people. You aren't just built, you are the siege engine. You generate a level of raw tectonic force that leaner bodies simply cannot match. Think of the Highland Games or traditional strongman athletes. Physically, you sit at a higher body fat percentage, above 20% for men and 30% for women, but it's built on a massive skeletal foundation. In the ancient world, you weren't a luxury, you were a necessity. You were the one the tribe called when something impossibly heavy needed to move, or when something terrifying needed to be stopped. In the brutal cold of Northern Europe and Central Asia, this build was a combined adaptation. The muscle provided the absolute strength needed for large game hunting, while the fat served as the fuel tank for the massive caloric demands of a long winter. You weren't a compromise, you were an engineering solution to the most extreme environments on Earth. You were the tribe's heavy machinery. Research suggests this profile tracks with high protectiveness. You aren't a scout or a planner, you are the one who deals with problems that are immediate, physical, and serious. If you find yourself being the rock for your family or feeling a deep need to provide stability during a crisis, that is the siege engine wiring in your brain. You were built to stand your ground when everything else was trying to move you. Now, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Your body is not a mistake. It is a calculation your ancestors ran against their environment, and they won. You are the living proof of their survival. And if you'd like another deep dive, watch the next video on the screen.